Statistics shows that 15 to 30,000 people graduate every year in Kenya. Surprisingly, it takes averagely 2 years for Kenyan graduates to get a white-collar job. This is due to the fact that the supply of jobs exceeds the demand. Unemployment is a major challenge that affects youth across Kenya. Approximately 800,000 Kenyan youth enter labor market every year, and unemployment is estimated to be as high as 35%. 80% of unemployed Kenyans are below 35 years old. According to a report released by the Kenyan National Bureau of Statistics on September 1, 2020, the unemployment rate has doubled to 10.4% as compared to 5.2% in March. With the rate of unemployment getting even worse due to the pandemic, many, especially the young people, are forced to look for an alternative source of earning a living other than waiting for the employment or working in their line of profession.
Yvonne is a business lady. I do mtumba business, both on wholesale and retail. I open the bales from the house. So when I open the bale, the clients will pick the pieces for resale. I also supply them with the pieces, and those who use them for personal purposes on retail.
At American, we offer commercial kitchen solutions, mainly. We specialize in stainless steel fabrication of commercial kitchen equipment. We also do design, consultancy.
My name is Ilana Lechena. I'm the founder and CEO of Acacia Innovations Limited. We manufacture a replacement for firewood and charcoal made of sugarcane waste. It's called Kuni Safi.
My name is Paul Kimani. I'm a CEO and co-founder of a company called WorkPay. So WorkPay, we are a people platform.
To many aspiring entrepreneurs, the main headache has been how to get started, especially how to get the concept and the capital to start off.
From the start, we never had a location. Actually, I was working from home. So I was basically selling a concept from the sitting room. Yeah, so I would wake up in the morning and try to promote this idea and create some awareness. So we were lucky that the first customer that we got was from Limuru. Out of that whole thing, the customer came. Actually, the client approached us or called to find out our location. So I had to really make a quick fix. Where is our location? So that's the point where I started looking for a place. So I was lucky to find a workshop right behind this place. So I approached these guys, we agreed, we negotiated a space, a small corner. They were doing some heavy fabrication of lorries and tanks. So they gave me a small corner. So that's where the clients met me. I did not have the materials, I did not have tools.
You were just having the idea.
Yes. And
How did it go?
Yeah, the customer, you know, business is all about integrity and also genuinity and also passion, how you present your case to a client. So there's no way you are going to say that I do not have this much of a space, so I'm going to give up. So I told the clients, or we had a conversation. The client believed in my story, and he gave me the opportunity. The client agreed. He paid as a deposit. From the deposit is where now we got to buy our first tools, and thereafter we had to look for casuals, and I had to really monitor and the works that were happening to ensure that the quality that I promised, the turnaround time that I promised was honored. So that's how we started.
Okay, the business journey has been quite interesting. I started it 4 years ago while a second year student at the University of Nairobi, Lower Kabete. So I picked ladies' tops, fancy tops for 1,500 shillings. So I would hawk the pieces to the students after the lectures. I started the business 4 years ago, but Girl Boss is now 2 years old with few months. So Girl Boss, basically, it does mtumba business, both on wholesale and retail, as I said earlier. So on a normal working day, we open the bale from the house. I sort the pieces in categories, the first camera pieces, the second camera pieces. After sorting the pieces, if they need ironing, I still do ironing. Then I take the pictures and post them on my Facebook pages and the Instagram page, also on the WhatsApp status. So once I've done the posting, I get orders. So the orders, I sort them, package them, organize for delivery. I have a delivery guy who helps with the delivery process. Something with doing bales, you also need to be sure of what you're picking. Also, you need to understand, when I open a bale, what am I supposed to do? So I did 2 pieces for 2 years. That is how, with time, I learned more now on doing bales. So after 2 years now, it's when I picked my first bale. It was worth 8K. Yeah, so when you open a bale, there's a lot you need to consider. Because supposing I picked a bale of, let's say, 7K, when you open a bale, there are 3 categories of clothes. You get the first camera pieces and you get the second camera pieces. Then once you get your profit and the capital you picked the bale for, you remain with other pieces. That is what we call fagia pieces. So now when you're pricing the camera pieces, you price them in the sense that you get back your capital and the profits back. You don't just open a bale and now you price each piece the same.
I actually never did a course in software development. I actually did it as a side hustle or a passion that you wanted to do. Electrical engineering is actually known as electrical and information engineering, so there's still some bit of software in it, but not a lot of it. So we were actually introduced to software as a second year course. But now we had to, after that, you know, the way university works, is you do the course, after you do the exam, that's it. But for me, after I did the exam, I now started working on it, on myself, started doing side projects, building simple website for people, started actually charging people to build websites for them. And yes, I actually did that for the whole of the year. Actually, I remember my first job was in second year, and I actually charged 30,000, which was a lot of money, and I never looked back in terms of building things. And ever since, of course, I've grown, starting from the simple things now to the more complex solutions. When we were still in school, started our first business. We had built a platform to profile politicians, just to give people visibility of those people who were vying. This was during the 2012 general election, just after the new constitution. So it didn't go well, but we were in business for 1 year. I learned a lot of lessons, and some of the lessons we learned then are the ones that are helping us to do so. So after graduating, worked as an electrical engineer for 1 year, actually in an air conditioning company. After 1 year, I quit and started a small software consulting company, and that is in 2015. When doing that, we interacted with so many businesses, especially the small ones. We were able to grow the company from just myself and my co-founder, who is called Jackson, to a team of about 20 people.
We manufacture a replacement for firewood and charcoal made of sugarcane waste. It's called kuni safi. So it can be used wherever people are using firewood. So in normal jikos and school cook stoves, all the way up to industrial processes. We also sell to industries to use for their steam boilers. So we're trying to provide people with an eco-friendly alternative, which involves just recycling sugarcane waste, and at the same time it's economical. It usually leads to a cost saving for schools, and also is healthier because it's nearly smokeless. I
will do a demo on what we have. So just do a quick one, just brushing through the solution. At the core of our product is that we have three things that we help businesses do. One of them is we help them to manage time, we help them to handle HR processes, run payrolls, and of course, as I said, do payments. So on the time helping them to manage time is that we do it through a number of ways. So for people who have employees on their premises is that they can use biometric devices for clocking in and out. But for businesses that have employees spread across, you know, with COVID-19, people are working from home, people are working from various locations, you don't have to report to the office. People are using mobile phones for them to be able to do that. So what we do is that we have a mobile app where people can actually clock in and out from wherever they are. Like for example, if you can see, this is my app. So if I just clock in from here, automatically it has clocked me in, and what it has done, it has picked the time that I've clocked in, and also it has picked the location. We use Google Maps and the like, and then it's able to send to the back end. Then this data for time is now integrated with the data that is on the HR and payroll, so that if someone is paid via the number of hours they have worked, you don't have again to go back and recalculate. So what you have done in that aspect, you have removed the paper and pen where people have to sign in at the reception desk. So then you're able to actually see a dashboard that shows you how many employees you have as a company, shows you how many payrolls that you have ran, shows you how many employees are on leave, how many employees are at work. You can actually send people on leave and those kind of things. You can manage expenses, petty cash expenses. From our platform, you can actually do disbursement. So after you run the payroll, you can actually, from a click of a few buttons, actually send money directly to an employee's bank account or employee's M-Pesa, and this we're able to do to all banks in Kenya. So that makes sure that instead of again downloading Excel templates from the system and taking them to the bank, you just do it directly from the system.
To many aspiring entrepreneurs, the main headache has been how to get started, especially how to get the concept and the capital to start off.
What was your source of capital? How did you get to acquire the capital that you started up with?
Okay, came to Nairobi, and I tried looking for jobs here and there, still to better my experience, because I was out of job. So after that, I got a job. Then thereafter, I started on my own. So starting on my own meant that I had to have some capital. So the capital was out of the savings, but it wasn't much. What I had was a business idea, which was the main capital, experience, which was also another capital for me. I considered all that as a capital, and the tangible thing that I had was a laptop, and I created a Gmail account. So I started looking for jobs and I formed this company. Then I started promoting the jobs that we are able to do. We were not yet doing anything. So I started promoting the jobs that we were able to do, thinking about the concept and leveraging on what we have on social media, like Facebook page, promoting them. Then I started getting inquiries.
I was doing some savings. Also, family also came in. I've been supported very well by my family. Yeah, so while doing at the university, I will save. Let's say I picked now for the first stock, I picked the one for 1,500. I picked each top was costing 100 bob. So I will sell each top at 200 bob. So now you save the 40. I used to save the 40% of what I had sold them. So that is how I got savings, and now I was able to purchase a belt. But also family came in and supported me on the same. Yes, belts are quite profitable comparing to just going to Gikomba and picking pieces. You know, also going to Gikomba and picking pieces, it's something I would advise the starters to go for it. But it is time consuming. For the bail, I just order the bail while at the house and get the bill delivered to my house by the rider. So it's a bit time saving, and also it's profitable, especially if you have a good market share.
I think if you don't have your own savings, then the easiest way is first of all to ask friends and family if they can put in a loan or they can put in equity in the business, which is in exchange for shares of the business if you feel you can't repay the loan right away.
I believe that even people who've started a business without capital, so it depends with the zeal you have. From my end, from my business journey, I've learned when you're in for just to give the best to the world, there's a way the universe just aligns you to what you need. You don't really need to start with a lot. 1,000 is enough. For Mtumba business, that is 500 is enough. There's no money that is too small for a brain that has a vision. You just need to trust the baby steps, but you have the vision in the mind, where you really want to go, where you really want your business to be.
Be ready to start small. It doesn't matter. Be ready to start small. You can think of 10 million shillings, 1 million shillings, or 500,000. That might not be within your reach. But what is important is, can you push your concept? Can you work with the little resources that you have to prove that this concept can work? So then you can inspire confidence in the people that you want to look money from.
Other than the concept and capital, there are many other things that a person needs to put into consideration to ensure a steady run of a business.
And what are some of the tools that a person needs to have, an entrepreneur needs to have in place to start up a business?
I think first of all, it's thinking about what is the full range of what you need for your business. So not only what is the solution you're providing to people, but how are you going to find those customers, and then how are you going to get the product to them, how are you going to maintain them and get repeat business. So thinking about everything from what's your marketing strategy to what's your transportation strategy. Are you providing your own transport for your products, or are you partnering with a courier or a logistics company? As well as, of course, what's the capital that you need, the investment, and how are you going to put the tools in place to convince people that it's a smart investment to join you.
How to sell one's idea or a product is another challenge that many young aspiring entrepreneurs face. However, here are some of the advice to get things right.
You need to do your research, market analysis in a small way, do some experimentation or just asking questions. You know, when we talk about experimentation, market testing or analysis, people think that these ones are going to be so big. But again, maybe you might not be having enough resources to be able to do all that. Yeah. But are you spending some time asking questions? Have you pictured your targeted customer, how they operate, what challenges do they experience? So how can you come in, or how can you develop a solution that fits in to solve their problems?
Basically, Mtumba, I find it quite affordable in the market. Not to say that the others are not a bit affordable, but it's preferred by a number of people in the market. Also, with Mtumba, you get unique items. But you now understand the bit about that when you do a market research. You get to understand your market first. What do they really need? Do they prefer Mtumba, or do they prefer turkey cloths? Do they prefer the other type of clothes? But now the more you understand what your market needs, the easier it will be for you now to gauge what you really want to provide to the market.
When I started, I realized there was this gap in the market where other people were doing clean cooking fuels like this, but either for households directly or for large-scale industries. And no one was really looking at how to provide clean cooking solutions to schools and other small businesses like a restaurant or a hotel. So I decided to really focus on that market niche and set up a business that was designed to serve schools in particular. So everything from the product quality to the marketing and the distribution logistics.
What are some of the qualities that an entrepreneur needs to have before indulging into
business?
Yeah, I think the major one is resilience. So you hear it a lot, but honestly, starting a business and maintaining the business is very challenging. Oftentimes it's problem after problem after problem. So you need to have the mindset that you're excited to solve those problems, you don't let it get you down, you just move on to what's the next step. So having just a real passion for what you're doing is very important, as well as also I would say humility, knowing that we don't have all the answers to start, but as long as you can learn from your mistakes and ask people for help where needed.
An entrepreneur must also be creative. Yeah, so you must be able to fix or find solutions for for whatever situation that is there or the need that is there. You need to figure out a solution. So creativity is key. Optimism, creativity. You also must be a person who is passionate about what they do. Whatever you believe in, you must be passionate about it in order to dig deep, learn more. It's not about money. It's about passion. What solutions are you giving? Are you proud of the products that you are making or the solutions that you are, or the services that you are offering? So passion is another important characteristics, and also the last one is for me is integrity and reputation. So if you are coming up with something, you must be able to honor. You must be able to not to shortchange your customers, not to shortchange your employees, not to shortchange your stakeholders like suppliers. There might be delays maybe in payments, there might be delays in the jobs that you're doing or services that you're offering.
Financial planning and management is one greater task that every aspiring entrepreneur needs to give a thought. It is what determines the success or failure of a business.
Financial planning is basically looking at what is the total amount of money you're going to need over the next time period to run your business, and what is the expected income, either from your customers, or if from your customers you're not expecting you'll have enough, do you need to raise outside investment? So I think the major tool is first of all doing a budget, either a budget to start up or an annual budget, and then smaller budgets for any special project or every month of, again, what is your income, what are your expected expenses, not only like your monthly expenses, but also anything special, like, January you need a business permit or you need to renew insurance. So putting all that together and then really holding yourself to that budget.
When you hear someone telling you as a business person, you have to pay yourself. You don't pay yourself by taking yourself out maybe for a hairdo or for a makeup do. No. The money you pay yourself, you now use that money to reinvest into something else that will bring you more income.
Our marketing is just not a special one. What we try to get right is at least ensure that every opportunity that we get to do business with any customer, they at least have whatever promises that we had delivered, whatever quality that we promised delivered, yeah, whatever after sales support that we promised before we got the opportunity executed, So then after that you realize that customers have confidence in you, they start referring you to other potential customers. That is the main thing that has been driving us, referrals. Satisfied customers giving us referrals. That has done some magic for us.
Initially, the clients I got the first week, they'll get me referrals, more referrals. So that is how the business grew while at the university.
We have direct employees at 30. We have 30 employees directly employed by American, and we have close to six if not 7 indirectly employed.
We've been able to employ about 100 people, mostly in the factory. So I think that's the wonderful thing about manufacturing is the job creation opportunity there.
The entrepreneurial journey have ups and downs. The challenges ranges from unfavorable government policies, especially for the starters, among others.
People should have tax holidays. The startups should have some tax holidays, so then they can be able to build some capacity, so then they can get to do their own business in a big way after enjoying the holidays. There should be some support from the government in terms of, like us in manufacturing, they should be thinking of how do we scale up this? How do we, this model is now working, how do we scale up? How do we scale it up? I know the government will not come to you, but some of the restrictions are not really things that are helping us.
Sure.
Yeah, but the most important thing, or the takeaway that should be there, is that never blame the government. Never blame anybody who is not able to support you. Pursue your dream.
Yeah, the challenges at times I would open a bill and get totally opposite of my expectations. So you find that bill, there's nothing you're actually going to sell from that bill, and yet you've invested a lot of capital in it. Also, the other challenges with doing online is a bit easier. It's a bit hard for people to trust you, so especially with the rise of cons. So it's also, it takes a lot of energy or a lot of time maybe to convince someone to work with you. Another thing is also, at times I've been conned before by a buyer. Yeah, I sent a parcel, but the buyer didn't pay for the parcel. So I ended up incurring that loss.
Our education system and lack of creativity, especially among the young generation, are some of the issues that needs to be looked at. This will enable us to better lives and change the situation of increasing unemployment rate.
Honestly, the current one, I think no, and I don't mean the system. Probably it's the way it is implemented, because what you do is that you just want to move from one level to the other. You do KCP, everyone wants to get an A, then you go to KCSE, again everyone wants to get an A, then you go to university. Like, it doesn't really focus on things that matter apart from just people passing. I'm actually really excited about the new system, the competency-based curriculum. My daughter is still very young. She's turning 3 next month, so she has not actually started, but I've been doing a lot of research on it, trying to understand how does it work, but I'm really excited about it. I think things are changing with the new curriculum. Is actually, if it is implemented well, I think it will be very excited. I remember when we were schooling, the early years, because when we had art and craft, we had home science in primary school. It was really exciting, building cars, cooking, stitching things, bin bags and those kind of things. But those things, all of those things were removed, but they were really important in helping children to be creative.
Our system does not encourage us to be employers. Yeah. Our system, our education system, encourages us to be the best employees, to know so much, to become best at being employees. So I think we should at least think in the line of at least having our education system also capture the bit of entrepreneurship. Most of entrepreneurs that you see around are people who maybe might have read books, might have seen opportunities, and they jumped into it. But I trust you me, for me, it has been a bit of the formal education has played a role in the life that I lead now, but not so much when it comes to business. What has played a role in my business life has been the books that I read. So you can start from zero to somewhere, as long as you have an idea, you're passionate about it, and you have good relationship with people who can support your idea. You know, again, you can be having a very good idea, then you share it with a friend who is going to discourage you. So who are your friends? Yeah, Who are the relationships that you are keeping? Are they people who are going to inspire you, who are going to motivate you to pursue that which you believe in or not? Those are also forms of capital. Friends can be forms of capital.
Start off and see if there's something you can try just with a small investment. Like, don't pour all of your savings into something right away, but see if it's something you can pilot, just by even starting with people in your community, seeing if they like what you're offering, and if you're getting good feedback and good traction, then you know you can start to put a little more money in and see if you can make a business that's sustainable.
There's no money that is too small for a brain that has a vision.
Unemployment is and will still remain to be a greater challenge to us as a nation if we don't change our perspectives. One, as the government to incorporate creative and handwork skills in the education system. Two, as the society to gauge a person's success by how much he or she has achieved academically rather than holistically. And lastly, as individuals to embrace hard work and thinking outside the peripheries of our academic qualifications. It is a matter of instilling the spirit of starting small and growing through determination and resilience. Maslin Odero, Hope Channel, Kenya.